Third trimester. This is month 8 of my third trimester vlogs. Oh, little girl wants to say hi. You want to say hi? So apparently I thought something we talked about before was like a marginal cord or something, and so we're gonna monitor my belly before I leave today. So they're gonna put like a little thing on her and just monitor her and see how she's doing. She looks good. She still looks chunky. She was being naughty and didn't want to show her face. She's like tucked up in my hip in a perfect way to stick her tongue out and not show the rest of her face. So love that for me. But yeah, I will check back in a second. Okay, so I am all done with my appointment. And so I showed you the clip of what that monitoring room looks like. I'd never been in there before. That was my first time. I have a marginal, it's called a marginal umbilical cord, and so with that there's like a lot of higher risks that come with my pregnancy, including you know, obviously I go to my MFM because my pregnancy is high risk anyway. So this umbilical cord makes it more problematic. So they want to monitor it now that we are getting closer. I'm sorry I look so crazy. Well, that's another thing with pregnancy. I feel like I've been getting just like darker spots on my face, but whatever. Anyway, that's just distracting to look at. But baby girl looks good. She was tucked so deep that they could not get her face, but we could just get her tongue sticking out. Like, so we could just get from here down, because she was like completely tucked underneath like my pelvic bone, which makes sense because my pelvic bone hurts like hell. So it's because her big old head is on it. And so the one picture that I did get was just her rolls, like her little heckin' rolls, which is so cute to me because I just think that she's so cute. That's why I want to see her face. That's why I'm annoyed with her, because I want to see her little cute face. But instead we got her like little side rolls, so that was nice. But I will see my MFM next week, and then I see my OB tomorrow, so I will see you tomorrow. I felt like I should do another check-in because after I had my first check-in and everything kind of sank in, I started to cry. And I feel like I should talk about that a bit. So basically, I felt just a little overwhelmed after like the initial like thoughts and stuff come through, because sorry, I took off my cardigan because it is Texas and now it's hot. You would not believe that we had a snowstorm less than 2 weeks ago, but it feels like it's 80 degrees right now, and I don't know if it's just because I'm a northerner now, or it's just that hot. But anyway, I was just having a lot of feelings because I was anxious about the fact that she's now gonna have to be monitored every week, like more extensively than like a normal pregnancy. And then also it just re-brought up all of the things that I kind of forgot or had pushed to the back of my mind about the umbilical cord and like where it is and what that means, X, Y, and Z. So it just all came crashing down. So I called Brent and was just like working through those feelings of feeling just nervous. And after talking to him and him encouraging me to just pray about it, and talking to my granny, I just was able to like work myself down and be like, you know what, she is really advanced, she's gaining weight, she's, you know, already working on her breathing consistently. So you know, God's preparing her for if she has to come early. If she comes early, then that's okay, because God's got her covered, and he is in charge and sovereign over all things, and this is out of my control. and I felt a lot better. But I did want to just add that in there because I don't want you to think, as a viewer, if you are also having, high risk pregnancy, if you have a high risk pregnancy, or if you had, pregnancy complications, that it's just all like rainbows. It's definitely ups and downs, and it's definitely scary, and there's definitely breakdowns because you are constantly in a state of unknown with the options of very serious or very scary consequences. Um, and yeah, so I will check back in tomorrow with my OB appointment, and we'll see what my OB thinks, what she says, if she thinks that I'm going to have to be induced early or if we're just doing just fine. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Okay, so this is my check-in for today. Hold on. Oops. Let me take off that so you can see my eyes. I did like a little light makeup today since I was filming for you guys. But I just had my appointment with my OB. I'm obsessed with my OB. She's so amazing. She always makes me feel just like $1,000,000. My MFM, they're very like, they just don't have the best bedside manner. They're very sciencey, and so when you're dealing with stuff that's like so emotional, it's hard to process that information, and then like it's like information overload. And so my OB's really good about like taking what they've told me and being able to like represent it in a more soft manner, and a less scary manner. That's the big one. But basically, because of my marginal cord, I'm being monitored like heavily now since I've hit 34 weeks, which usually I feel like for normal pregnancies you start getting your weekly visits at 37 weeks, but I'm obviously not a normal pregnancy, so they want to start monitoring baby weekly now. So I talked to her, and basically what's going to happen is that I will not see 40 weeks. That's just like impossible basically. But they're going to induce me either at 37 or no, they're going to induce me at either 38 or 39 weeks, unless I go into natural labor before then, just because they were saying, like my womb isn't the best space for baby. It's not the worst space, but it's also not the best space. So they are just, like wanting to make sure baby's BPP doesn't fall below 10%. And also, or is it BPP? They didn't want her to fall below. They didn't want her to fall below 10%, and they didn't want her to they didn't want her to fall below 10%. If she falls below 10%, then we're just going to immediately induce me. And like that's just like immediate, but we don't want to go past 39 weeks with the current predicament. So like with my umbilical cord, that's just not feasible. So basically we're gonna have a baby a little bit sooner than we thought. So April 14th, we will have a baby by that point. We will not be planning for a baby or that won't be her actual due date. So I'm very intrigued to see on what my MFM says next week, because I see him next week, and on what date or week that he thinks that induction will be best, and then that'll just help me plan a lot of things in advance. But yeah, so basically baby's good. We're monitoring her like crazy, and she'll be here before we know it. So I will check back in next week at my next appointment. Okay, so as you can hear in the background, that's my baby's heart. We are back here for monitoring, and baby looks good. Baby looks like she's like 5 pounds, 5.5 pounds. I will be 35 weeks tomorrow, so I'm super excited. She looks super cute. I got to see her face today, and so she was participating because she was sleeping, but you feel her heart is beating, but they've got me on monitoring. I'm gonna sit here. They're gonna monitor her levels. They already measured, that was a kick. They already measured her fluid. They measured to see how big she got. They did her heart and then they also did her breathing practices. So I'm not really sure what this one's for, but I didn't get my degree in it, so I trust them. But yes, I have to sit here like a toaster strudel. Okay, so we are all done with monitoring. Baby looks good. We got to see her little face. Let me see. I'll show you guys. Hold on. There's my little squish. It's so hard to like really tell like what she's gonna look like. Even with the 3D, 4D like ultrasounds, like they literally pull it up and it literally looks like a human, and I'm still like, but what is she gonna look like? But yeah, so we did her monitoring. They had me drink some cold water because she wasn't moving, because this is her nap time. Like, this is not her awake hours. So every time they schedule me early, she never moves a bunch because she's sleeping, and she sleeps hard. Like, she does not want to be bothered. Like, Tex will like be jabbing at her and she's like, excuse me, I'm sleeping. She takes her sleep very seriously. So after we had the cold water, she moved enough and the doctor said that I was good to go. So now I am done for this week with monitoring her. I have my next appointment with my MFM in 2 weeks because my OB wants to do my weekly scheduling, or weekly, my OB wants to do my weekly BPPs, so like my weekly like just checking on baby, and then which I'm happy with because one, she's closer to me, and two, I usually can FaceTime Brent during those, versus at my MFM I'm not allowed to FaceTime or record or anything. So I will be doing those weekly starting next week with her, and then after that I will check back in for a rate of growth with my MFM. So once we kind of see that, then we'll kind of see when baby's gonna come, but the estimate is a little bit before, a little bit after 39 weeks. So we shall see. Hello. Okay, I look all sorts of crazy. But I just got out of my BPP, my last one, before I am full term. So this is our last check-in for our 8 months. But she looks good. Her fluid looks good. She looks good. She's got humongous little cheeks. It's so cute. I did it at my OBs, which I'm not always the biggest fan of, just because their equipment, like the pictures don't come out as cute. Like I'll show you for example, because I have my like name on here. Okay, let me cover it, and then she's like claymation-y. That's how she looks. And so it's nice when I go to my MFM because their equipment's like super nice. And so she looks like clear, like it looks like a picture of her. But yeah, so her fluid looks good, she looks good. And I am 36 weeks today. So next week I will be considered full term, or early term if you Google it, but when you talk to your OB and your MFM, they say you're full term at 37 weeks. So they told me to start doing labor inducing things starting next week. So I will definitely be documenting all the ways that I'm trying to get this heckin' baby out of me, because she is all up in my ribs and I am just so uncomfortable. But she is looking good and her numbers look good and everything looks good. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like. Leave a comment down below on what you think that her name is, and also what day you think that she's gonna come. Do you think that I'm gonna have to be induced, or do you think that she's gonna come early on her own? I'm really intrigued for you guys' thoughts and opinions. And also, Brent has been the one who has been editing my past couple videos, so if there's anything that you like or you want added or anything like that, make sure to leave a comment down below, because that really helps us out. We want to make sure that this is the best content for you to follow along on our journey. So with that being said, I will see you in my next video. Bye.